Hey guys, I'm Rich from NeoWin, and today we're unboxing the HP EliteBook 1030 x360 G3. So I say the full name because it's all kind of meaningful, and I'm going to break down what that means. So Elite is HP's business brand, and that means this is a commercial PC. It has a lot of features that the Spectre brand, which is the premium consumer brand, it has a lot of features that doesn't have. Okay, so book means it's a laptop, but yeah, I cracked myself up. 1030 means it's a 13-inch display, so that number corresponds to the screen size. So they had a 1020 with a 12-inch display. That's kind of been folded into the 1030. 1040 has a 14-inch display. 1050 is 15.6 inches. You get it? Right. G3 means it's the third generation. I did review the G2 last year. It was awesome. And one of the main improvements is going to be 8th generation processors, which are quad core. This does have a 15-watt processor. It's a U series, pretty standard for this type of machine, integrated graphics. So you notice it doesn't come in a fancy box or anything. And the reason for that, because we've seen this from EliteBooks, truth is, businesses don't really want them. It doesn't make a lot of sense for them. These types of boxes can be easily stacked, and the truth is that most people that are using them in businesses are never actually seeing this box anyway. So they don't need a fancy box. Let's see what else we got in here. Charger. Whoa. Yeah. So this is a power cable that's going to hook into a charger. Over here we have a USB Type-C to Ethernet cable, which is awesome. These things are great. And I'll explain why. We have a pen. The pen should attach magnetically now, which is great. And here's our power cable, which also charges through USB Type-C. Oh, we got some more stuff in here. Let's reach all the way in. All right. Yeah, so this is another power adapter and a USB Type-C to USB Type-A cable. Not really sure why that's in there, but I'll figure it out. So yeah, lots of wires and dongles in here. So this is like a power cable extension right here, and if we open this up, you can see that just plugs into the power brick right here. It's an extension. If you don't want that length of wire, you just plug this guy in there and plug it in, and lots of companies do that. And here's the pen. It does charge via USB Type-C, which might be a reason why that Type-A to Type-C cable is included. That way you can easily charge. I still don't really. I mean, there are two Thunderbolt 3 ports on the machine, which we'll get to in a second. And that's one of the reasons why I love the Ethernet adapter, which is right here. And it's nice because a lot of these adapters that you come across are USB Type-A to Ethernet, and it's just really nice to have more peripherals and adapters that connect to USB Type-C, because we are seeing fewer and fewer USB Type-A ports on new PCs. So it's really nice to see more stuff that plugs into those Type-C ports, which we usually have more of than Type-A ports at this point. So like if we take a look, we have a single USB Type-A port over here, power, and then we have a 3.5 millimeter combo audio jack. Over here we have two Thunderbolt 3 ports, volume rocker, which is great, HDMI. So, I mean, I love a volume rocker on a convertible. I think it's always nice. Some companies leave it out still. And the thing is, if you're using it as a tablet, you're going to kind of want that, right? I mean, so we open this up. Obviously, it can be used as a tablet. It can be used in many form factors. And like I said, the pen attaches magnetically, which is really nice. HP has provided multiple options for pen storage. Some companies will have you use the USB Type-A port. They'll provide like a holster that plugs in there. Problem with that is you're using a USB Type-A port. Some companies will have you store it in the device, which I actually like a lot. Magnets are okay. It's just sometimes they'll fall off in your bag, and that gets a little messy, and sometimes it'll losing the pen. This seems to be a very strong magnet, though. It seems that, yeah. So that's pretty good. So let's boot this guy up. All right, so we're all set up over here. I signed in with my Microsoft account. I had a little bit of issues connecting to Wi-Fi. That's probably my network. So you can see there's a lot of stuff that's just right here on the screen right away. And We can close out Edge. That's just Windows. There's SureClick over here. Do you want to activate it? So what that does is it basically protects you from clicking on malware and stuff like that. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of features that are not in the that are not on the Spectre models, and one of those is SureClick. So another one, Sure Run. There's Sure Start. Basically anything that starts with Sure. Okay, Sure Start. What that does is when you boot it up, it's protecting. It's checking the BIOS against like a master copy, and if it finds that the BIOS is corrupted, it will replace it. Right, and so there's a lot of those security features, and you can go through all that, I guess, at this. I'm just going to close this for now, and I'm going to close this for now. You can see there are a ton of Microsoft Edges here. That's not HP's fault either. This does, it doesn't come with McAfee. That's great. I hate it when PCs come with McAfee. It's a terrible product. No one should ever use it. And I saw that first screen was kind of suggesting. I thought maybe it was pre-installed, but it's not. So that's great. So if you want it, you can get it. If you don't want it, it's not there, so you don't have to uninstall it. Fantastic. So this is a 1080p model. It has a Core i7, should have 16 gigs of RAM. By the way, we'll go back to why those stupid Edge icons are there. That's all Microsoft's fault. And we'll be able to get rid of those shortly. So if we go into system settings and we'll go down to, by the way, yeah, 1080p. It does come in 4K as well. It also comes with something called SureView, which we will get to, but see, Core i7 8650, that's a 15-watt quad-core processor. So that's the big performance improvement that we're going to see over the G2. The G2 had 7th-gen processors. Those were dual-core. So quad-core means you should get between a 30 and 45% increase in performance, depending on who you ask. Different OEMs said different things. I think Intel said 40% when they announced them. For some reason, Microsoft announced the Surface Laptop 2. They said an 85% increase in performance. So, hey, if you want to go there. But yeah, there's a boost in performance. Depends on your workload, because the extra cores are more beneficial in certain things, right? If you're running a VM, that's definitely the extra cores is definitely gonna help. And by the way, it is hyper-threaded, so it's 4 cores and 8 threads. 16 gigs of RAM. One thing this doesn't have is SureView. So SureView is HP's privacy screen, right? Normally it would be activated by hitting F2. And what that protects against is what HP calls visual hacks. And for some reason, HP never actually sends me the model with SureView, except they did once, so we're going to take a look at that real quick. This is the EliteBook 840G5, which I reviewed a while ago. You can find that on NeoWin somewhere. So like I said about the naming scheme, by the way, 40 means 14 inches. The 800 series, like the 1000 series is the premium, and you can see that this display is not as bright. Okay, so if I hit F2 here, what we get is a privacy screen. And what that does is that if you look at it from an angle, you can't see what's on the screen. And that's by design. That's what HP calls visual hacking. And that means when someone's looking over your shoulder, they can't see what you're working on and what's on your screen. So if you look at it straight ahead, you can see it fine. And yeah, so they didn't send me that model. This is just the regular full HD model. There's a 4K model. SureView only comes on the 1080p model. They haven't worked that out for 4K. I'm sure it'll come eventually. But onto these Edge icons. This is actually a OneDrive thing. This is Microsoft's known folders backup. And if we go into our settings here, and we go and auto-save, we could just turn that off. Because personally, I think the right way to do it, see, it just goes away. I store all my files in OneDrive anyway. So when I set up a new PC, all my files are just there. So I don't have any use for that. And Microsoft has really implemented it so poorly that every time you set up a new PC, it adds another Edge icon. And if you follow me, you know I set up a lot of new PCs. Okay, so we can look at some of the other HP stuff that's in here because, again, a lot of security features like that. Phone-wise and work-wise. So these features are pretty interesting. Phone-wise is similar to Microsoft's Your Phone, which, does that come pre-installed? No, it's not. But we could actually check the version number. Yeah, so it's 1803, latest update. So similar to Your Phone, you could send and receive text. You can make and receive calls. One thing that I really like about it is that a lot of companies have similar solutions. Dell has something called Mobile Connect. I think Asus has one. But they're all very similar products. So they're obviously being built by a third party, but they have slightly different feature sets. So they all work really well with Android. All of these solutions work great with Android, including Microsoft Earphone, which also lets you send and receive text. They don't play as nice with iPhones. HP, however, has a unique solution, because what most of them will tell you to do is you have to open the app on your iPhone, keep the phone unlocked, and if you don't do that, you won't be able to send and receive a text message. Not very useful. If you have to unlock your phone anyway, it's not the most useful feature. But this app will actually let you input. Let's see if I can do this without getting started. No, but you can actually input your phone's PIN. So it will actually wake your phone, launch the app, send the text message, and then put your phone back to sleep, which I think is pretty cool. Okay, because really it's probably as far as sending and receiving text from your PC goes, I would say it's the one that works the best with iPhones, and that's saying a lot. And then we have WorkWise, which is, I think it's actually one of the coolest features out there. So this is another thing that connects your phone and your PC. And updated and necessary. See, we're going to set all this stuff up later. But so what this does is that it basically tells you the status of your PC from your phone. So let's say I lock this PC and I walk away from it, and then someone says, "Hey, Rich's PC is open." It's still on the lock screen, whatever. No one's getting into it because they don't have my password. But they say, "Hey, Rich left his PC on. I'm going to close it." So you just close the lid. I get a notification on my phone that says your PC has been tampered with. Obviously, that was a simple scenario, but you're secure in that sense that you know what's going on. You could even you could install printer drivers from WorkWise. There are tons of things you could do involving the PC status that and I think that HP does the best when it comes to security on commercial devices, because there are a lot of really great features that come with it. And then, of course, it's just a great device. It's got the audio quality. It's got a beautiful display with narrow bezels. So, the HP calls it One Life, and that's where you're using this PC at work and you're taking it at home as well. So you want to use it for home stuff also. So you might want to watch a movie on Netflix. So then what you can do is you can just watch your movie as a tablet right there. And it's a pretty device that you're going to like. And another thing that HP does is that it has the B&O speakers on the front, but it also usually puts speakers on the bottom. And the reason that it usually puts speakers on the bottom is because that way, when you're using it, there's always speakers firing towards you. Okay, so this is the EliteBook 1030 x360 G3. Again, it's a confusing name, but I mean, it's for businesses. It's for people that should be able to work this stuff out. Versus, say, a Spectre x360, which is a much more simple name. That's for consumers. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Let's see if there's any HP stuff that we missed here, because there really are so many features that are just useful. So, short-click console, soft-pack download manager. So that's a weird thing where you can download drivers, driver updates, firmware, and things you can kind of do it automatically through support assistance. So I don't really know why that soft-pack download manager really needs to be there, but it is. Whatever. Jumpstart, that was that start screen that we saw before. PC hardware diagnostics, power manager. There's really quite a few features here, and you'll be able to read all about them in my review, because there's a lot to talk about, and I've talked a lot about it before. So stay tuned for that. It'll be a few weeks. I'm Rich from NeoWin. Have a great night.